My name is Claudia Biezunski-Rodriguez. I am the owner of Sew Loka, located in Barrio Logan. In our studio, we strive to bridge the gap between fast fashion and how fast fashion is a huge pollutant in the fashion industry. Our number one goal is to make sure that we're using fabrics that were meant to go into landfills. So we use a lot of reclaimed, repurposed, and upcycled materials. We really strive to do that to obviously inform people of how the fast fashion industry is a huge pollutant. We really want to make sure that we're letting people know how clothes aren't supposed to be disposable and how we're trying to bridge that gap. Most of our fabrics are either donated to us from people that have passed. We sometimes source them through a yard sale, friends that are getting rid of some of their fabrics. And so we really try to stay with our whole vision of keeping everything where it's not being bought and reprinted and all that. My number one has to be our single needle Juki industrial sewing machine. So we build all of our projects through that machine. It's basically start to finish with that one. We're gonna make zipper pouches out of a 1963 Impala headliner. Okay, so after all of our fabrics are cut, we basically make sure that we have our zipper, we have our interfacing, and that we also have our liner fabric. And so our interfacing, our liner, and our outer layer, they're all the same measurements. And so we start to sew our interfacing onto our outer layer fabric, and then we stack them up like a sandwich, and we put a zipper in between, and then we put our liner fabric on top and sew the zipper through. In about 30 minutes, I could make about 20 different zipper pouches. Yeah, it is an awesome, fun process. The embroidery machine that we just recently got, that one's definitely one of our favorites. It gives new life to items that were looked at as not being able to be used again. And so we do embroider phrases on our sweaters. We tie-dye them and then embroider, or we'll just embroider. And so that always gives it a new life. Our embroidery machine is one of the newest machines. And so we did have a lot of issues with some of the projects that we do work on in the studio. And so we wanted to make sure that we could use those projects to embroider. And so what we did is we actually started to figure out how to hack some of these projects by using Stabilizer to create a larger platform for us to be able to sew our smaller projects. We do that by using spray adhesive, pinning some of the surfaces down. And so that creates basically a larger space for us to be able to work within our smaller projects. I really hope that when people come into our studio, they take the knowledge of being able to see a production room and also retail space and how things are actually made, to bridge that disconnection between garment workers and someone that's actually creating something in their studio. We really want people to understand that this isn't just a factory, that it's a sweatshop. We actually sit here, we design, we create, we measure. There's a lot of math that goes into creating tiny little zipper pouches and even the bigger projects. So we really want people to understand that it's not just your average grandmother's sewing studio, even though those are really cool. But we want people to understand that we are creating so many different things with things that you would have seen in a landfill. So we really want people to understand that all these things, we're giving them a new life in order for us to cut all that waste down. Thank you for coming and checking out our sewing studio here in Barrio Logan. We are open Wednesday through Sunday from 12 to 4, and we would gladly give you a tour of our sewing studio. So please stop by.